All right.
All right, well, we'll get started. And I think everybody was already here when I basically said what this meeting is for, but I'll restate it. Welcome to Chamber 101, Maximizing Your Membership. I'm Chris Conway. I'm the Executive Director of the West Hartford Chamber of Commerce. And this program is designed kind of threefold. One, it's a way for us to onboard and welcome our new chamber members to the benefits, programs, and resources available through the West Hartford Chamber of Commerce. It is also available to existing members as a review of all of those things. And we also invite prospective future members to sit in on this so that they can see the various things that the Chamber does for our businesses and nonprofit partners. Go to the next one.
Beep.
Yeah, so here's what the goals of today are, is to help you get the most out of your membership, because you're making an investment in the organization, and we want to make sure that you're getting everything that you need from us to help enhance your business, to discuss our mission, show you what we do, and something that we do also take very seriously. We're about a 550 member organization with everything from many sole proprietors right up to major manufacturers that employ upwards of 500 people, and literally everything in between. So small accounting firms, large accounting firms, small medical practices, large medical practices, nonprofit organizations, volunteer organizations. And we have something for everybody as far as things that you can do to help get your message out and connect with other people that might be good strategic alliances for you. And then we have a lot of things that are available online that we will also show you how to take advantage of those as best you can. So we like to open this up with just some basic questions, and you're here to participate. So I won't pick on anybody individually yet. I'll leave it to you guys. But we're a small group. So what are some of the challenges facing your businesses?
I'll go first. So for us right now, it's probably a mix of our lead times being long, since we're a two-person show here, and cash flow.
Okay. Great. What are some of your ideal customers or leads? Somebody else want to chime in on that?
I wouldn't mind chiming in on the first one.
Sure, please.
Yeah, so I have a consulting firm, and I do two different types of work. So I think what for people who know me in one way, they may not know me in another way, because a lot of the work I do is in kind of a hybrid format. So part of the work that I've done for most of my time is consulting based work for nonprofits, schools, and small businesses. So I'll be doing, strategic planning, research, field interviewing, but then helping people with fund development, marketing support. But then I'll actually help them with implementation. So I'll actually help them do the work so that by the time they actually need to hire, they're not hiring for that first stage, they're hiring for someone who can take them a little bit longer. So sometimes that would mean going on staff as a full-time person for a couple of years to help transition a department or to build a department. But then I also do individual strategic planning for women. So that works on kind of working on their planning for their personal life and their professional life. So sometimes we're helping people move their business to a new level that works with their health goals. So what I do is very much a hybrid type of approach. It's a real niche market. So I think sometimes people struggle to figure out what I do because most people call when they have a problem with something or a project and they can't figure out a person to support them, and they'll say, you know, is this something that you can help me with? And then we'll do all the planning, I'll help them implement. And then, you know, the project moves on to its next level. So I think that's, for me anyway, some of the challenge that I run into is I just don't have a clear market that I stay within. So I'm that flex person that does a lot of management.
Okay. You brought up a lot of great points and things that we see with other members as well. You know, I'll use an example. We have a very active member that works in managed services for IT and what have you, but people just hear computer and they think that it's, you know, he's largely repair. So trying to help him get his message out about what he does service, you know, and he will certainly do some repair stuff, you know, kind of as an added value, but that's not his primary business. So using the different things that we do to get that message out is very important. And then, so that's there, but then, you know, you can tweak it depending on what your target market is. It is something that is available as well. And then also important, you know, very importantly, when something comes that maybe is not in your wheelhouse, you know, building the network within the chamber, there may be somebody who can solve that problem for that person. And now you've established a relationship with them. You've got to know a little bit more about their business, and you've now got you can still be helpful by sending them to the right person, and vice versa. Hopefully that person would do the same for you.
Amanda, that's a similar problem that I faced in the past, which was people always think we're just insurance agents.
Mhm.
And we're not. So insurance is a component of what we do, but like we do business risk management, which involves looking at all the risks a business might face, like cash flow, as someone said earlier, or workers' comp. Like, right, it runs the gamut. So business risk is not just insurable risk. So I used to have that problem as well, and I had to come up with like a very clear, and I'm still like kind of refining it, way of talking about it, because people would always be like, "Oh, I have insurance," and I'm like, "Okay, A, someone else should look at it, but B, it's not like what we do. It's not the approach that we take to helping small businesses." So it took me a while to figure out how to, and our website still needs to be updated because it changes, right? But it took me a while to figure out how to talk about that, and like what's the value proposition and what are the things that connect them all together, so that it's more articulate and it's a clearer path for my ideal client, right? Like clearer path mentally, right? Like the journey that you're taking them on, and how that kind of fits together. And I think that could be challenging, but I think, to Chris's point, knowing who you're talking to and then like just tweaking it even slightly is always helpful, because like depending on the group that you're talking to, some types of groups might understand or resonate with a different portion of that journey than others. But I faced something I've been through that as well. I'm just kind of commiserating with you, but it was something that we had to work through as well.
Thank you. And it's nice to hear more about what you do too, through your explanation.
Yeah, oh, no problem. That's what I mean. It's not always, I'm still at the stage where mostly I have to talk about it. Like it's not something that someone would come across on the web and be like, "Oh, I get that," right? So I'm still at the point where I'm like, people understand it when I talk about it, but it's not immediately obvious.
Yeah.
It's very similar thing you do.
We have a small enough group here, you know, this can be very fluid. The chamber struggles with this as well. You know, people have the stuff you see, you know, in online and in the newspaper is, okay, there's the chamber with the big scissors and the ribbon. Oh, and there's the chamber at the golf tournament, and there's the chamber, you know, doing a business after hours. And the other things get missed. Like there's the chamber is at the town council advocating for a business, or
well, if we continue, you'll actually learn about what the chamber does.
Right.
Can I just share, I feel like I totally agree with Amanda and Meredith's, having to explain what you do, because, for example, like I've been involved in business for 26 years. And there's things that I know that I can't just list it all, because there's just a lot. Like, for example, I'm a small business coach, and I help I like to help people find money and use lean and stuff. But just this morning, I did some SEO research and content research for one of my friends in BNI. So I just don't know how I'm gonna get it all out there. And secondly, well, my other challenge is meeting online. I'm starting to feel really squirrely about it. Like, and I don't want to be rude to you guys. Like, but I need to like get up and like do some jumping jacks or something. But I just, this is really hard. I'm on Zoom probably 5 hours a day at minimum.
Yeah.
I would
That's
love
real,
to meet with you guys all separately offline about those struggles that you're having,
Yep.
because I'm sure that all of you can relate. So I would love to have that conversation besides this meeting.
Yep.
Can I ask Carol?
Go ahead.
I just want to ask Carolyn a question about her cash flow, but we can take it offline. I'm just wondering if it has to do with ordering, if it's materials and lead time to fulfillment. Like, is it the gap of payments and materials? No. Okay.
No, unfortunately not. So like the short version is that we have a couple different silos within our business. Our big silo is custom work, which when someone says that they want to work with us, we do request a 50% deposit, but because it's just my husband and I, and now I've also become a woodworker, which was not the plan. But our lead times, like right now, we're booking out for anyone who orders with us today, we would book them into mid-November. So we don't see that other 50% until that point.
Yep. Okay. I was just
All right.
curious.
A lot of the rest of these questions are going to get answered throughout, and then, and like I said, this can be very organic. So we're gonna move forward just in the interest of everybody's time and Zoom fatigue. It's up on the screen there. There's our mission statement. I think it's pretty succinct. Something that I do like to just talk about is that we are not just a business organization, but we're a community organization, and we strive to find different ways to bridge that gap. Sometimes it is just public-facing things that we do for the community. We have a large percentage of our members that are nonprofit organizations, so helping them get their message out and linking them with the business community as well for potential synergies. You'll see this play its way throughout the rest of the presentation today. Here's just the numbers. So we're just, like I said, about 550 members. We have a 28-member board of directors, which is spread throughout the membership. So it's got mixes of sole proprietors, nonprofits, not-for-profits, large institutions, manufacturing. Pretty much it's a good representation of our organization. While we are the West Hartford Chamber of Commerce, we are one of the largest single town chambers in the state of Connecticut, the largest in Hartford County, and we have members in over 40 towns that are not West Hartford, and I know some of those are represented right on this call here. We have several committees that focus in different areas, and we're going to get to those later. We run, 70 is probably a low number as far as networking opportunities. We probably are closer to 100, but this is, again, we do try to create ways for businesses to connect with other people and share their story. And the referrals, and I think everybody on this call has been on Connections at some point, and that last 10 to 15 minutes takes up the referrals that people are doing and keeping other members in mind. And certainly the chamber is doing that as well with direct calls, emails, but also when we see things online in different, neighborhood groups, et cetera, we and the members are doing connecting people with our members as well there.
I had the opportunity to recommend Carolyn the other day. Somebody was looking for custom coasters, and I was like, I've got your girl.
Perfect. Yep. All right, we'll go on. So this is the chamber team. Again, Chris Conway, I'm the executive director of the chamber. I've been in this position for just under 3 years at this point. Prior to that, I was the membership director for the Waterbury Regional Chamber. And prior to that, I was a member of the West Hartford Chamber of Commerce for probably 5 or 6 years, as was both of my colleagues here. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and Kate's already on screen, so we'll start with Kate.
I'm Kate Cobes. I'm the Outreach and Development Coordinator. I've been in this role for about 2.5 years now. Before that, I was a chamber member for maybe 5 or 6 years. I used to work in outside sales, predominantly in marketing. I sold TV ads, radio ads, internet ads, and things of that nature. I also come from a world of the nonprofit organizations. In addition to this role, I'm also employed with the Red Cross. My husband works for the Alzheimer's Association, previously with the Cancer Society. So those elements, the sales, the marketing, and the nonprofit really inform the way that I approach this outreach and development position, and hopefully benefits all of our members.
And I'm Jessie Bouclier. I'm the Member Services Coordinator. Been with the Chamber for between 3.5 and 4 years-ish. I don't know. I lose track of time at this point. But prior to that, I was working with We Care Computers. And so a number of small businesses as well that I've also worked with. So I have the experience and the pleasant ability to be involved in a number of different chambers of commerce too. So we were members of probably 12 different chambers from Springfield down to New Haven. And so having the experience of not only the West Hartford Chamber, but other chambers of commerce to be able to figure out kind of what value can we bring to the small businesses, the entrepreneurs, you know, from that perspective, what are we bringing to the table that will really improve that? I also have the benefit of having experienced kind of being involved with engagement manager position. So being able to work with small businesses to help them improve the direction they're going, their ideal customer, ideal leads, and then who their referral partners can be. That's one of my favorite parts of my job, actually. Yeah, that's me.
Great. So we'll let Jessie take this one.
Yeah. So I handle a lot of the back end stuff with the chamber as far as the website and stuff. Chris does a ton of the social media, but when it comes to the website, that's sort of my component there. So I want to ask, how many of you have been on the chamber website? Hands. Perfect. And how many of you have created a profile so far? Oh, awesome. Carolyn, you're being left out on being left in the dust there. So I'm sure that you have all checked the events calendar because I've seen most of you on events. So I know that you guys are at least keeping an eye on that. And then do you follow our social media pages? Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter? Kate, ding. So this is our website, and this is the basic kind of side of it, the homepage. We have a number of different things that pop up. Dang. These are some of the tabs that we have going. Everything that you need can be done from these tabs, right? So as we do things or change things or build things, we'll add stuff onto our website so that you guys have access to it. So when COVID hit, as you can see, we added, coronavirus information, we added emergency business resources. As we get closer to the holiday stroll, we'll add the holiday stroll tab on there. So there's a number of different opportunities via the tabs on our website. Next. So member login. So if you have not already created a business profile, or if you have, here's what it should look like. You sign in with your username, you hit the member login up at the top. You sign in with your username and password. If you don't know it, email me, I can resend it to you. Next page, Kate. And this is what it looks like, right? So when you get on here, this is the basic profile that you're looking at. It gives you the opportunity with shortcuts on the left-hand side. Ding. Personal information, we want you to make sure that all this is correct, because this information is how we reach out to you. This is how we get your information. This is how we talk to you about things. This is how we send you information, all of that sort of stuff. So please make sure that that's up to date. And if you change it, please update it. Next. Next bit is the company information. Now, the most important thing about this is it's the most important thing. So please make sure that your information is correct on here, because this is the stuff that goes on our online directory. This is also the stuff that goes in our in-print directory, which we print once a year. Thanks, Chris. So that's our most recent one that we just came out with. But if this is not up to date, then we don't have up-to-date information for people to contact you when they locate you on our website. So please make sure that that is up to date. And that all your, if you have employees, that all of that is up to date as well. You're good, Kate, keep going. That's our events page. I assume most of you have been on here. Green is chamber events, blue is flow events, and orange is community partner and member events. So if you are doing events, if you are hosting events as a member, please feel free to use this calendar to put them on there. It is viewed many times by chamber members and non-chamber members alike. So if you're doing something along those lines, please feel free to add your event on there.
And
I just
one,
wanna
just
say-
one thing to add, we added the committee to committee meetings to the calendar as well. Those are white background with green print. So if you're interested in a committee, that's how you get the information. We don't typically do registration online for those, but it tells you which chamber staff member to reach out to get put on the list to be invited.
And I just want to throw that out there. If you are, in addition to this being the most heavily trafficked page on our website, so if you are hosting events, it's a good place to put your events. But there are other community calendars that we work with that will pull information from our calendar. So that might help you gain wider access to the community just by using this as an advertising platform.
That too. So closer look to register for events, right? So you are here, right? You click the piece that says register here. There's a little button, right? So you enter and go ahead, you can keep going. Click there, you enter your username and password. If you forgot, again, email me. And it will give you the opportunity to click, move forward, there we go. And you can put in all your information to register. These are our social media pages. You're good, Kate, keep going. I'm trying to be mindful of time here. Usually this always takes forever. So I don't, and I know we were a little slow in the beginning because we were interested in hearing everyone's story. So I want to just like keep rolling through, keep everyone interested. Don't get bored. I know you're all staring down at your stuff or you're working double screens here. I can see all y'all are not looking at what we're doing and that's okay. I know the rules, it's fine, but we're going to keep moving. So social media pages, we have all of those. Next. Because here's what they look like. So this is the social media pages that we have between Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We highly recommend that you follow us. Here's how you do it. Wait, keep going. Here's how you do it. See, I know it's slide next. Here's how you do it. So when you come into your Facebook and you click on the West Hartford Chamber and you open it up, see those 3 dots there, and you're like, well, I don't really need to see the chamber information that importantly. You're wrong, you do. So here's what you do. You need to click the follow settings and it goes in and it gives you the opportunity to click your favorites, which means that you actually get our information way more often than your third cousin's aunt's dog's babysitter. So we really look forward to making sure that you know everything that's going on. Next. What events does the chamber do, guys? Some of you have been on virtual connections. As you can imagine, BC, right before Corona, many of these things were in person. These days, we do almost everything virtually. So Alex was at the golf tournament. So there's, we do some stuff in person, fortunately, but unfortunately, some things have to be virtual, right? Safety-wise. So virtual connections are Friday, 7:30 to 9. Virtual business after hours are usually the second Thursday of every month. We haven't found a ton of response on that. So we've kind of tried to finagle what makes the most sense for people as far as getting involved with business after hours. We're hoping to go back to in person at some point. With that, we are in fact looking at potentially October, I believe, right, Chris, in person for business after hours. Our Halloween event, we usually do like a Halloween celebration, Halloween soiree sort of thing. So we're hoping to be able to, yes, spooktacular. So spooktacular soiree is, I believe, what I have it labeled as. So we're hoping to be able to do that. We encourage dressing up for that. So we look forward to seeing many of you there, but it does require pre-registration for the component of making sure that everyone is safe and we can cap the amount of people that are there. Chamber 101, as you know, you're here. Committee events, many of our committees have either a monthly meeting or every other month. It just depends on what you're working with. And our major signature events, which Kate, you can just jump right in on.
Just if we could I just want to go back to social media just for a second. Along with following the chamber social media, it can be a very useful tool for you as well when you post to tag us. That way we know what you're up to. We can potentially share that, at the very least, like and comment on it. But if it's something that we could also share to the rest of the membership, it's a very easy way to do that. And we have members that do that on a regular basis. They will tag us so we know what they're up to.
And actually, when you do tag us and we see it, many of the times, one of the three of us will like to try to make it to whatever you have. If we can, if it's a possibility, we'll try to be there so that we can also take pictures, share it, be present at your event.
Fantastic. So our signature events happen throughout the year. The major ones are listed here. We just finished up our golf tournament. I know that that it took up a lot of our time and space. We also host the annual Mayor State of the Town luncheon, where we give her the opportunity and the platform to inform our residents, our businesses, and our partners on what's happening in town. So she usually gives an overview of the previous year and then her desires for the coming year. So it's a really great event if you're interested in the local politics. And then the Economic Development Update Luncheon, we host that as well. And Kristen Gorski from the Town of West Hartford Economic Development Department, she gives an overview of what's happening in the business world. And that generally includes going neighborhood by neighborhood and talking about all of the interesting businesses that are coming to town, relocations, growth opportunities, new developments, and things of that nature. Our Spotlight Awards in our annual meeting is our time to really highlight some of the amazing work that is done by our members. We have a number of Spotlight Awards that we give, such as Volunteer of the Year, Nonprofit of the Year, Legacy Business for businesses that have been in existence for long periods of time, who have contributed to our town. And so we like to host an event where we can really honor their contributions to our community. And then the most prestigious award that we offer, it's called our Noah Webster Award. And we grant that to somebody who has gone above and beyond within this town to help the community as a whole. And those are our major signature events, in addition to, we do things such as the holiday stroll and our Halloween party, but we've always got fun stuff going on. And this is Connections. Most of you have been on Connections. We have moved that virtual in the past year and a half. It used to be an in-person event, but now we do it via Zoom, and it brings people together. We usually see around 35 to 45 people every single week on this meeting. Some of them are longstanding members, some of them are new members, some of them are guests, but we're constantly seeing a new group of people come through this meeting to get acquainted with one another. And that is something that is sponsorable. So if you are looking for an opportunity to even further your branding and your exposure, one thing you might learn about me is that I can find a way to attach your name to just about any event we have if you're looking to co-brand in some way or another.
Just so you guys all know, if you do that, both Kate and I, which as you'll notice have a fantastic background, we add logos onto this background for our sponsors. So as we pop up on the screen, that's all logoed.
It is.
And when I'm in the office, I will be doing it too. It doesn't work at my house. It doesn't work at my house.
Excellent. And so, like Jesse said before, we've been doing virtual business after hours. It's just a very low key. I don't know how many of you joined Connections early on, but there's that first half hour where everybody just sort of chats and the conversation rolls. The virtual business after hours is more like that. It's very informal, very friendly, and gives everybody an opportunity to get to know each other a little bit more. And then you are here. This is Chamber 101. This is what we're here for, helping you guys learn all of the tools at your disposal. So these are some of the signature events that we were talking about. As you can see, the golf tournament, the State of the Town address, and our annual meeting. These are just some of the things that we do. So in addition to attending events, like I said before, I do a lot with the marketing, and there are a ton of opportunities for you to market your business through the chamber. One of them is that chamber directory that Chris showed before. Now, as a member, everybody gets a listing in the directory, and that directory gets sent out to, in addition to getting sent out to local businesses, we give them to other organizations that distribute them on our behalf, such as realtors, local hotels, things of that nature, so that if anybody is interested in, somebody who's new to town, for example, or somebody who's looking for, I don't know, a plumber or a veterinarian, whatever it is they're looking for, we try to make sure that it's available to them. So you automatically get the listing, but there are opportunities to place ads in that as well. We have an eBlast program, which Jesse spearheads, where you can access our email distribution list of over 2,500 local engaged residents. And then we have banner ads. Banner ads can be placed on our website, either in the online directory, if you're looking for somebody who's shopping in category, or on our events page, if you're looking to reach lots and lots of people. We also have our hot deals. That's something that all members have access to. So if you have a special promotion going on, a special sale, something you want to offer specifically to chamber members, or if you're having a sale or promotion that's applicable to the wider community, you're allowed to use the hot deals option to sort of gain some exposure on that. And then most of our events are sponsorable. So we have got, like I said, our virtual connections, our after hours, the colorful conversations and mastermind sessions, the Minority Business Network, our roundtables, all of our signature events. There are sponsorship opportunities available for all of them. And I do create personalized packages. So if you have a focus or a budget or a concept in mind, and you're looking for ways to maximize those, sit down, have a conversation with me. I will put together something that's going to work best for you to reach your target audience, whether you're looking for, business to business versus business to consumer, if you're looking for a niche market versus broad appeal. So there's a lot of different ways that I can make it work specifically for you and your business. I think I just went over all of these. This was our last year's directory. Chris showed you the cover of the new one. And these are the eBlasts. I didn't realize that there was individual pages for all of these. These are some examples of the beautiful eBlasts that Jesse puts together on behalf of our members. This is what the program looks like. It's a relatively affordable option to reach a large audience. And then, like I said, the banner ads. So the events calendar, like I said, if you're looking for broad appeal, the events calendar reaches the most people. So you're talking top of the funnel, lots of exposure. But if you're looking for category exclusivity and people that are in market today, bottom of the funnel style marketing, we can get you in the member directory, where not only is your banner ad on place, but you're also top search results. So that's a great way to reach people in market. And then the hot deals, like I said, that's something that you are able to just go in and do yourself right through, when you log into your account, you can upload the hot deals right to our website. So if you have something special on offer that you want to share, that's the way to do it.
If you have any questions about that, I do have lots of how-tos. So for posting events, for posting hot deals, for posting job listings, all of those, I have how-to sheets for how to do it yourself.
And this is what our hot deals page looks like. So even if you don't have a deal at the moment, but you want to see what some of the other members are offering, I highly suggest you go take a look at that hot deals, because you will see some really great opportunities there, some specials that are offered right through there for our members. And like I said about the sponsorship opportunities, so there's plenty of opportunities for me to help get your name, your logo, your company in front of our audiences. And Jesse, do you want to talk about committees?
You got it. So we have committees. We have lots of committees. We have things that you can get involved in lots of different ways. One of our favorite things is to be able to have conversations with you guys about what you do and what your passions are. That's one of, I know at least my favorite things to do is to find out what people are passionate about and find out how to meld what you're passionate about and what your business is with the chamber, and how do we find a way to make that work for you. So a lot of it can be different things. If you're interested in getting out there and getting to know other businesses and getting to meet lots of people, the membership committee might be for you. If you're interested in making sure that the local area is maintaining their economic hold on success. The Economic Development Committee might be a great way to do that. We have lots of opportunities there that Chris will talk about in a little bit. Golf Committee, if you love to golf, we always struggle because the three of us do not golf. So we always struggle with knowing like, what are the things that golfers want to see at the golf tournament? How can we improve it? Where can we go from here on there? Our Minority Business Network has been formed over the last year and a half and has been wonderful to get the opportunity to work with folks of color, work with lots of different minorities. And I think that that's a great opportunity too. Usually we have Chris Clark on here to be able to kind of jump in on that, but he's not here today. We have our Community Engagement Committee is one that does it's designed for a smaller project management component of it. So we have a lot of people who get burnt out by being on a committee for the entire year, but our Community Engagement Committee has a chairperson, our wonderful board member, Christine Luby, who sort of project manages our things that we have going on and will tap people for just a time span. So, you know, if it's something like with a health and wellness event, we'll have her reach out to that sort of industry and find ways for people to get involved. If it's our job fair, we'll have her figure out how to get people involved on that component. And it's only a small span of time, but we also need to know what you're into, right? To know where to tap you. And then we have Flow, our Future Leaders of West Hartford. There's more information to come on that also. So Kate, if you can take it away on that one. Move on is what I meant.
Yeah, this is usually where Chris talks. So.
Yeah. So this is usually where Chris Clark jumps in. He's our chairman of the mastermind. See, I'm looking at the thing. Minority Business Network. And so we have a number of different programs that business network does. We have Colorful Conversations, which is our quarterly event, and that is based off of different topics that are affecting colorful communities. So things along the lines of our last one that we did, which was education, access to education for colorful communities. Our next one, which is coming up on October 6th, which is access to healthcare for colorful communities. So things like this are great opportunities. Our mastermind is also looking for minority-owned businesses who would like to just have a conversation with a group of people who are already in the business world and trying to help folks be able to figure out, kind of workshop any issues that they're dealing with. Kind of a spotlight opportunity really for businesses to kind of take a look at it and figure out what they want to do with it. So that's a great opportunity for folks as well. Kate, if you can move on from there. So advocacy, if you're interested to learn more, Chris, why don't you take it away with that?
Sure. So I will just start by saying we are not a lobbying organization, but we are also very mindful of the needs of our business communities, and wherever we can be the voice of our members and their needs, we certainly take that opportunity, and we do that in a variety of ways, largely through our Economic Development Committee. But we have many community partners, so we work closely with CBIA, the Connecticut Business and Industry Association, also a subcommittee of that called CASE, which is the Connecticut Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives. And you know, we just try to be the voice of the business community there, and whenever possible, we bring in decision makers to really hear from our members. And this has probably been probably most successful during COVID. We've had multiple small business forums online, everything from, you know, the PPP programs to the unemployment programs to the PPP forgiveness, and getting our businesses right in front of people like Senator Blumenthal, Senator Murphy, Commissioner Lehman, you name it. We've had great connections with them. Certainly our local delegation as well has been very responsive and available to our members to really hear what do you need from a public policy standpoint, from a regulatory standpoint, to help you continue to be successful. So we take the point on that whenever possible. I'll just jump in on this, you know, so like I said at the beginning, community engagement is something we take very, very seriously, and, you know, are proud to do. So we do things like, we do toy drives through Flow and clothing drives. We help out with Celebrate West Hartford. We work with Junior Achievement to do some of the learning days in school. Because we have so many nonprofit members, we try to do everything we can to help them feature what they're doing in the community. The Chamber was, very involved with the Pride events this past summer, with the Juneteenth celebrations this summer, among many other things that we do, helping out with Food Share, Ron Foley Foundation, you name it. Just another thing, we view our relationship with our fellow chambers of commerce across the state as collaborative and not competitive. We have very many members we have members that are members of multiple chambers of commerce. I myself, when I was in business, was probably a member of 5 at one time. And we do a lot of dual programming, from networking events to different resource things. And we also, especially in the time of COVID, have opened up a lot of our programming to each other and vice versa. So, maybe somebody's got, a real, like a great speaker that, committed to the Northwest Chamber, but because it's virtual, Joanne Ryan, who's a good friend of mine, will make sure that we get invited and we can share that information with our fellow chamber members. And also just bouncing ideas off of each other and finding out what works and what challenges each other faces.
And then we have Flow, the Future Leaders of West Hartford. Flow is the Young Professionals Committee within the chamber. We do our own events in the vein of business. I'm sorry, I'm getting myself all sorts of
Business
confused.
development,
Business development, philanthropy, and social. And the idea is to make sure that the young professionals here know that there is a community for them, and that we can grow the next generation of the business community here in town. And in the world of Zoom calls, Jesse and I have actually also been involved in a young professionals leadership group with young professional groups from across the state, so that we can share programming, we can share resources. We've done, speed networking events. We've done, we took an anti-racism leadership course and created an anti-racism book club to help make it accessible to people across the state. I believe that there's a Bridgeport minor league baseball game coming up that we need to.
There's also an event in New Britain too that's doing tacos and tequila. That's coming up next week, actually on the 7th. I'm really excited about it. But yeah, so definitely we're very same thing with all the other chamber perspective. We're very collaborative, but what we do is kind of, our goal is to sort of set young professionals up to be the next sort of business folks that are, kind of up and coming and in the area. I look forward to the days when our Flow committee will actually be what makes up our board for the chamber. Very excited.
That's the idea. That's the idea.
So do I.
Excellent. And so just so you guys are aware, the age range on Flow, we say it's 21 to 40-ish. We try not to create a hard, fast upper limit, especially because I'm about to age out of the group myself. But it is focused on the 20 and 30 somethings and where they are in their careers. And ribbon cuttings. There's a rule that is never enforced that Jessie should never touch the scissors. As you can see, I'm frequently terrified by what she's doing with those scissors. But we do have a lot of fun welcoming new businesses to the town. We have been able to do those even within COVID land. Some of them have been, small affairs where it's just the mayor welcoming a business owner. And more recently, when the weather's nice, we've been able to do bigger ones outdoors. So we love welcoming new businesses. We love celebrating anniversaries or expansions. So that's something that we truly enjoy doing.
Yeah, good times.
So in the last 10 minutes, I guess we'll just leave it to questions or anything that may have resonated with you that you think is something you can jump on immediately.
Well, I'd like to volunteer myself. So, I'm certified in facilitating masterminds. So like if you guys ever want to even like maybe do like a new member mastermind, like I can certainly help lead that for you guys.
Thank you.
I would be interested, have you guys, so just show of hands, have you guys heard anything today that you didn't know before? Hands up. Yes. Okay. Alex, Brandon, Janet, anyone
I think
else,
the
anything you didn't know? Amanda, fantastic.
I think the marketing resources were helpful, Jesse, especially as a business that's trying to grow in the community, get our name out there. It's awesome, like the different advertising opportunities that you guys give. I didn't really know about those.
I'd
Kinda
love to
outside
chat
of,
with you
like-
offline about that. We can figure out what you need and how I can deliver.
Awesome. Yeah, Kate, we'll definitely have a chat. No, and then I love like getting involved, just like joining committee, giving back, learning more about the community, and just kind of solidifying our position here and how we can help small businesses. So that it just got me
Alex
excited.
is already going to show up for next Friday, so we're excited about the float meeting.
Exactly.
Good.
Now, Jesse, I might have missed it, and I don't know if it was like shaky internet. I've had trouble with internet all week. The Business Resource Committee. Did you get to chat about that? Or like what is that?
You
And
want
we
me to
can
jump
tell-
in on this?
Yeah, Chris, go ahead.
So over the last year and a half, we have like we've consolidated and reworked some of our committees.
Yeah.
So we used to have a marketing committee, we used to have a technology committee, and then we had we did some small business resources. The business resource committee has not even been fully formed yet. So it's just been a matter of time. So Minority Business Network took off and was, needed a lot of attention. Flow needed a lot of attention. So
Yeah.
we're in the process of building that committee, but it's
Okay.
going to pull in what the technology committee used to do, what the
Okay.
business resource committee used to do, and parts of the marketing committee that were not as community based. So
Yep.
the ones that were more business focused. So happy to talk to you about that offline as we get it going. Our intention was to have it up and running by now,
Yeah.
but things keep changing. So great question. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Hey guys, I have a quick question.
Yeah,
So I know Jesse, you and I think we quickly texted about like BNI and how we love BNI and stuff. And so, but I belonged to like a chamber years ago that like hated it. Like she would like give me like the death stare if I even mentioned my group. Because the thing is, I just became a launch director and like I don't want to like, talk about something that you guys don't want me to talk about. I want to respect the boundaries on that. So
We work hand in hand with a lot of different BNIs. There are a lot of people who are chamber members who are also BNI members. And we believe that anytime you're reaching out to other businesses, that's a good thing. So we would never discourage you. If you're in a BNI that you love, that's fantastic. We've actually, a lot of the introductions that we have made have been through our members at BNI partners.
Yeah, so I actually subbed for someone in a BNI a few weeks ago. So that's very much a world that I'm familiar with. I was involved when I worked with We Care Computers in 2 different BNIs. And sorry, that's Business Network International for those who didn't know. So that is it is great for many different industries. It depends on sort of the industry and the person you are and a number of different factors on what you find as a value for you. So a lot of folks, when you kind of come into the business world, whether you're new to it or you're old to it or you're experienced, it's one of those things of figuring out kind of what works for you, not only your business, but also what also works for you as a person, right? Because some people are more designed for a smaller group and feel more comfortable in that setting and feel like they can connect in that, be able to connect with different people and make sure that you're connecting with the right referral partners. And so I think it depends on a number of different components. Yeah, Alex, if you're interested in BNI, I can connect you with a couple of folks who can talk to you about it. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunities there. We're all about collaboration. There's no need to compete. There's plenty of business for everyone. And so if it works for you, we support you in it.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think it also
Yeah.
depends on, I think it also depends on the chapter too.
Mhm,
Like personal
absolutely.
preference, how active is it? Is it aligned with like, are the people in the group aligned with what you're looking to do and that sort of thing? I found, you know what I mean? They each have their own flavor.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I
Exactly.
was in 5 other chambers, I was also in a BNI. They can be very complementary to each other, and Jesse hit the nail right on the head. We stay focused on what we know we're very, very good at, and we know that we can't be everything to everybody. And something like a BNI with that closed, the weekly meetings with the required referrals and things like that, that's not really in our wheelhouse. I've got 27 insurance agents that are members of the Chamber of Commerce. Like we can't have that expectation of our members. So there's a great synergy there. And our current chairperson was also the president of our chapter most recently. So
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. That lends to a great point, Chris. A lot of people question sort of how we refer people. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on is getting to know many of our members. We try to get to know members as much as we can. And like I said before, when I kind of jumped in and was talking about finding out what you're passionate about and finding out how your business works and all of these pieces, right? If I get to hang out with you at an event and I get to sit and chat and have some information about who you are and where you live and what you like, your animals, your family, all of these things, then I can make a better suggestion on who to refer to you, right? When someone reaches out to me, we've had people call who are hilariously enough, who are having their son or daughter move up to West Hartford or the area, and they want to know, who should we talk to, like a realtor, like, getting a place up here. How do we do it? And the first question I ask is not, oh, here's a bunch of realtors. It's, well, what kind of person is your son or daughter? Like, what do they like to do? Are they an extrovert? Do they like to go out? Are they interested in some sort of sport? Are they, do they want to make connections? And if that's the case, then I have, or are they really particular? Like they have very specific needs and they want the information very efficiently. Based off of that information is how we refer people. In that scenario, I have a perfect realtor for the guy who loves to go out and loves to get to know people and wants to be a social butterfly. That's Pylon all day. But if I'm talking about someone who needs to know somewhat, the efficient information, the immediate information, needs to know exactly where they're going to live and the very specific parameters that they need, that's Amy Babbage. There's different real estate components, there's different business components of who you're talking to and who you refer based off of that, because we aren't a BNI. And so we aren't just going to refer to those immediate people in that very tight-knit close group.
Yep.
Further thoughts on how you can apply? Honestly, it's interesting because the more we talk to people, the more I think we need to come up with like a workshopping opportunity for figuring out who your ideal customer and your lead is. Because Amanda, when you were talking earlier about how you sort of have two different, directions that you can go, I think it would be really interesting to kind of have a workshopping conversation about, okay, so how do we break that down? It's not just, you're listing out 7 different things, but all those 7 different things actually fall into 2 different categories. So like, we can kind of figure out like, all right, what is the direction that you need to go with this? And how would you market this one direction? And then how would you market this other direction? Who's your ideal customer? Because people say, oh, I can help anyone. But like, yeah, you can help anyone, but is that who you want to help? Like, do you want to talk to the people who, are maybe not necessarily the most pleasant folks to deal with?
This
No,
would be a
probably
great
not. You wanna
program
deal
for
with
the
the people
Business
who-
Resource Committee.
Wouldn't
But
it
I
though?
think too,
Yeah,
I
it's
think too,
funny
it's
when
not
you
like-
were.
I think too,
Okay.
good marketing speaks directly to a person. So when you try to talk to everybody, you're actually talking to very like nobody almost, right?
You're
Because
talking
you're
to
being
nobody.
so generic that you're not resonating with any one niche or any one group of people. So I think having that focus is really important for successful marketing. I found, right? And working with my clients, you can't talk to everybody the same way.
Agreed.
Yeah.
What were you
It's
gonna say,
funny when
Amanda?
you were asking what we learned, earlier, I was thinking about something that I have that's coming up that's going to be mostly based through social media, because the Instagram part of what I do is for the personal development work that I do for women. And it's going to be themed on a health related topic. And so one of the things that we're going to be doing is just connecting that to women in the community, not so much for themselves necessarily, but so that they can actually get a little insight into how they can support other women. And so I hadn't thought about, connecting with the chamber first to say, if you'd like to, it's going to be related to sobriety and how women can look at the process of recovery from substance abuse as an opportunity for discovery. And most people aren't going to say, I want to sign up for that because it's something I'm interested in. But most people need to realize, for business owners or for people in the school system or for women, that that's something that is affecting a large group of people in our community. And they need a way to be able to listen to information about that so that they can be aware to support others. But I hadn't thought about tagging the chamber to make sure that you can say, hey, women, if you want to follow this for a little while so you can hear this conversation, if it, and then if the rest of the content isn't for you, you can leave after. But those are things I wouldn't have thought about before this. So
Hey, Amanda.
Mhm.
Amanda, can we connect? Because I feel like we can support each other on this. We do a lot of work employing and trying to find opportunities to bring women into the independent agency channel, and particularly into risk management. And I've been working on a program with the Department of Labor. A lot of the women that I work with have been impacted by substance abuse and abuse in general. And I think as employers, we need to learn how to deal with that. Like, we need to learn how to empathize, what some of those triggers are, how do we interact in those situations. So I think there's two angles. I think there's the angle of, like, if you are the woman who's gone through that, traumatic circumstance, right? But there's also the perspective of someone who's working with and trying to bring women forward who have been through that. And how do we foster that? Because it is an interesting and delicate and potentially hugely beneficial thing to work on, but we have to be aware of it. You know what I mean? We have to learn how to do it appropriately.
That would be great. And I know, because we don't want to take up too much of the team time here, but I will tell you that most of the people who seek me out for the individual support are business leaders and executives, and they may be learning things for their own life, but they really need to have better support for their employees, because the people who are coming to them, they're having those one-on-one conversations, and they just need to have different kinds of resources, but they're just very discrete conversations. So
this is an exciting conversation for me, because I've been talking a lot about employee benefit programs and creating the right talent and cultural development environment.
It's so funny, because you should try talking to Alex too while you're at it, because he also specifically deals in employee benefit programs. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So I feel like there's a lot of synergies there. It's very timely conversation.
Fantastic.
So we do need to wrap up, but it's funny, just this last couple of minutes, I think, totally embodied what I was going to say at the closing. One is, in case you haven't figured it out, the chamber staff and myself, as part of the chamber staff, we're accessible. We're there for you. Reach out, questions, ideas, concerns. We try to be as responsive as possible, through whatever means you contact us. But really, more importantly, building those relationships with your fellow chamber members is going to be the key to all your successes, and finding those relationships, those synergies, just learning about what people do, so that you can become an advocate for them, and vice versa, they can become an advocate for you. So thank you, and we look forward to continuing to, you're all very new here, so we look forward to continuing to help you grow your business and find those connections that make sense for you.
Hey,
Thank you
for
for
joining
offering
us.
this.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Nice meeting you all.
Thanks, guys.
Bye,
Have a great
everybody.
weekend.
Bye.